Good morning. Hello. Hi. It's me, the Grandma Quilter, and this is Quilting with Mrs. Quilty. Added cool thing. Hi. Today, guess what? Yeah. Today, I'm going to be doing some crafts. Some stuff that came out in my latest magazine of Mrs. Quilty. You see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? Something really simple. I'm not going to get into anything elaborate. We're going to be making a coffee mug cozy. Y'all remember when I did the unboxing and I showed you that pretty button? Look how cute. You want to see what it looks like? Hold on. Hold on. I did it here. You put it around your cup. And the good thing is this is adjustable because it's got the elastic. Voila. Look how pretty. Doesn't it look cute? Look. 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 Ta-da! Look how pretty. Look how pretty. Look how cute that looks. But not only that, we have the eyeglass case. Look how cute. Put your glasses in here. Voila. Pretty, isn't it? I'm going to show you how to make it. This is so easy. It's not funny. Okay? This is ridiculously easy. Let me take these things out of the way and open my second camera so y'all can see what we're going to do it with. The book has the instructions. One thing that's really important when you're reading your Mrs. Quilty magazine and you're checking out your patterns, some patterns need templates like these do. And those templates can be found on the Mrs. Quilty site. But you have to have the barcode. The UPS thing, the symbol, the UPS, well, I don't even know what it's called. Let me see, hold on. Let me be clear here. The QR code, I always get them confused. You can scan the QR code and it'll pull up the templates you're going to need to make the eyeglass case and to make the bowl, the mug cozy. I need to replenish because, yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do is, I already know how to do it, but the instructions are really clear. It gives you the exact quantity, the size, how you're going to do it. This is a quilt as you go method, so I'll be showing you how to do it. It's so easy, it's not funny. There are two ways. The book gives you one, and I do another. You can do it either way, but the book, if you're new, never done it before, follow the instructions in the book. Okay? And then it gives you how to finish it off. All the instructions are here, and for those that like to say stuff, the instructions are really clear, precise, and go step by step. The glasses case, the same thing. Let me make sure there's nothing here. Same method. Quilt as you go, you strip and you put it on, you cut it, how to sew it, and it's done. Very simple. Today I'm going to be using fabrics from this bundle. Look how pretty. So I'm going to get started and get all this stuff out of the way so we can start. I already have everything pre-cut. Everything's been pre-cut, so all I have to do is sew. Anyway, look how pretty. See, all the fabric strips have been cut. This is the backing. Now, some methods of quilt as you go, what they'll do is you can put the backing and the front, do it all together, and then just put binding tape around, which is pretty cool. I've done it in the past, but it's a little bit more work. So today we're going to do it the way the pattern shows you. This is template for the coffee mug cozy, and this is the template for the eyeglass. Now, I've already cut the batting, and I am going to cut this for you guys so you can see, but let me put that one to the side. This is the mug. See how easy this is? Very simple. I put it on, I cut it around, voila, cut it out, took this, because this is going to be used on the backing as well. All you have to do now is choose your strips. Now, the easy thing about this, one thing that I like to do, To find the middle, that's all I do. Fold it in half. I will do a tiny little snippet. That's not going to affect it at all. So I know where to put my starting strip. Now, your strips, I pre-ironed most of them because I prefer them nice and ironed. That way prevents shrinking. And this is just choosing and just putting them down. So as you can see here, I don't want, let's get this stuff out of here. We go. So there we are. So all you're going to do is you're going to place your strip. Your initial strip goes face side up. And you're going to make sure that you have enough of the fabric off on each side. Let me tell you something. When I learned this process initially, I'm stingy, okay? I can't help it. So I would try to bring it up as close as I could, and it didn't work. So people, just leave a little bit off on each side. It's easier. You can always put the little scraps back in your scrap bin. So that is there. Now, I am going to choose a strip to put on top. And I think I'm going to choose this adorable stripe. I love this stripe. All you're going to do is put it on top, people. That's it. Look how easy. And bring it to the sewing machine. Now, I'm clumsy. So I always like, just to stabilize it, just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, I'll bring it under the machine and make sure you start stitching before the batting. It helps. I'm telling you these things because I've been through this. And I'll give it a little back stitch, just maybe one or two, just for my peace of mind. You don't have to, because it's all going to be encased. Make sure your strips are aligned. And so, done. Now watch the magic. Here's the magic. Look how simple. Voila! Look how pretty. Doesn't look pretty? Now I'm going to get a little piece, and I'm just going to put it on this side. Let's do this one. This one's cute. So I'm going to take this. Now this is a fairly large piece, if I can find the beginning of it. There we go. And again, when you're going to continue, you place it face down. Make sure you overlap a lot. just for peace of mind, people. I always say it. I've done it too many times to mess up that I've had to either go back or just forget about it, and it lives in a dead drawer. Anyway, okay. I just said okay. Sorry. Alrighty then. Here we go. And again, I just like to make sure my strips are lined up. Although this would be really cute with wonky strips. Wonky strips, you can make strips that are bigger, smaller. You can cut them crooked. You can do so many things with something like this. And this, for new quilters, this is the easiest thing in the world for you to practice. Believe me. So easy. Now, you see there's a little piece, and it's a quarter. But you know what? I'm going to cover it, and I'm going to cover it with the little piece that's left over from here, just in case. Again, I know what I'm talking about. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. So I always like to make sure, after I messed up so many, I like to make sure I'm covered. So I'm just going to sew that tiny little piece on. And if I need it, it's there. And if I don't, it gets cut away. That's okay. Not a problem. At all. All right. So, see? Little tiny piece. Ooh. Same color. Okay. Again, this is yours. You do anything you want. You can make them all the same fabric. You can make them different colors. You can mix and match from different boxes of Mrs. Quilty. Believe me, I have this one. If you notice, has the greens from one box. And it has the big gingham from another box. So yeah, it has fabric from all different boxes, and it looks adorable. Mrs. Quilty fabric coordinates beautifully together, believe me. Okay, so now we're going to go to the other side. Same process. Let's see. I think I'm going to go with this one. Pretty little bows. All right, now the same process to the other side. That's all it is. Bring it under. Let me see. See, this is my problem. When I bring it under, if I didn't pin, I have to check. Because I tend to do that. And it's messy. All right, here we go. Just making sure everything's lined up. You know, one time, I did the whole thing. I pinned, I kept going, I finished it. When I looked, it was wrong side up. Most of the strips were wrong side up, yeah. So you know what happened there, right? And all I'm doing is finger pressing. You can iron, but I don't like to, not with batting. Even though this is cotton batting, it's 100% cotton batting, but still, it's not rocket science in the sense this isn't that elaborate. Just finger press. Again, everything's going to be encased. You'll see. Okay, I think I'm going with gingham because I love gingham. I can't help it. I love gingham. Gingham makes everything feel better. Gives it that home vibe. Yes, it does. Okay, see, I didn't pin. Oh, yeah. Well, this one's smaller. I'm just checking. And again, start before the batting. Give yourself some space. That's all you do. Give yourself space. Start before the batting. Bring it over. Iron it open. Now, you're seeing a mess here. Don't let that freak you out. My OCD friends, breathe. You're going to get through this. It's almost finished. And again, the same thing happened here. We have a tiny little bit. So what am I going to do again? I'm just going to cut a tiny little bit off. It probably won't even show, but that's my OCD kicking in. I don't want to see batting anywhere. I'm just going to cut this eensy weensy teeny weeny tiny little bit. Ring it up. Put it down on the fabric and the batting. And even though it's tiny, it overlaps very well. And just sew it on. There. Now I'm satisfied. Okay. So, here comes the fun part. Turn it over. Make sure all your fabric is where it's supposed to be. Especially those tiny, tiny, tiny little pieces. I just make sure I press them down good so when I turn it over, they don't turn over on me. There we go. See? I can see them. Okay. So now you see here. I bring up a little bit so you can see better. There we go. And here. There we go. So now all we're going to do is we're going to cut around. We're going to put our template back on top, which is the easiest way to do this. And there's a little bit of stretch, but that's not a problem. Just bring it on top. Now some, like scissors, cut it up. Me, I have a thing with my rotary cutter. We have a friendship going on. And I don't know where I put it. But again, this is a very small distance, and I'm not going to screw it up. So I'm just going to bring my template over. And I'm just going to cut off the excess. Ta-da! And bring it over here. I'm sorry, but I have to bring it over here so I can see what I'm doing. And just follow the line of your batting. The most important thing is you follow the line of your batting because the batting is what's going to encase it. So I am going to risk it, people. Get this fabric, see? Very easy. No rush. Just follow the line of your batting. And there you go. Now see this little tiny piece? Look, I shake a lot and I'm still doing it good. So, go figure. I just like to make sure that all my strips are visible. And there we go. I know what I'm doing. And yes, I left it open. I'm sorry. And again, follow the batting. Look at all the strips you have left over. Ta-da! Okay. And the last side. sure that little tiny piece is up. Okay. Okay. Follow your batting. Follow your batting. And voila! It is done. I think. I missed this piece here. And there we go. Look how cute. Now, see the little tiny pieces? You're going to see what happens. But they're still here. Now, look how pretty that looks. Isn't that pretty? Look how pretty. There we go. Now comes the fun part. We are going to put this right on top of this. I'm not even going to cut it. You know why? Because I'm going to sew it on this side. I'm going to make sure that I have every bit of that in. And since I can see that doing it this way, I was going to be a little short, doesn't matter. All I do is turn it around because I'm going to sew it on. It's going to have a little bit of stretch. Even better. Now this I'm going to pin. This I'm going to pin because I don't want it to come apart. Doing it this way, it's even better because that way you can make sure that it's the exact same size as what you have. You all saw that the batting stretched a little bit, and that happens when you're quilting. When you're quilting, it either stretches out or shrinks. It all depends on what you're using and what you're doing. So putting the backing on this way is easier. And why am I doing it this way? I'm putting the backing face side up to the fabric face side down. They're kissing. They're mush mush. Why? Because I'm going to leave a little hole open here. And I'm going to pull it out. When I pull it out, it'll be perfect. Be patient. My newbies, you're going to see what I'm going to do. If you've never done this before, a couple of tricks. To make sure you leave that opening, pin it. You can put a pin in. I suck at putting pins this way, but I'm going to try. Okay, you put one pin here. And one pin here. That tells you you're going to start stitching at one pin. You're going to go around and you're going to stop stitching at the next pin. You're going to leave that opening so you can pull it out. Watch. Now, there's one thing missing, isn't there? I need to put the little elastic in. So where am I going to put it? First of all, I got to find where I put it. Cut. Where did I put it? Cut. Oh, my Lord, I had it here. Did I put the button? I had it in the back. Really pretty. Everything ready. And of course, I screwed it up. Where? Here it is. And we're back. I got it. It's here. Okay. Mrs. Quilty, in that box, because that's what's included with the pattern, sent me the hair bow, the hair tie, and the button. Button, I'm going to put over here. If you want to see what the button looks like, go watch the box opening video. They're adorable. Okay. We need to put this on one of the sides. Why? Because this is going to be what comes out and ties around the button. Now, how do you do this? Very easy. I'm going to put it on this side. All right? Now, I'm going to put it in here between the layers. Between the layers. And to make sure it stays put, I'm going to put a pin in it. I like pinning. Don't let anybody tell you not to pin. If you like to pin, pin. You don't have to do it any other person's way. Now, it's a little, it likes to move around. All right. So I'm just going to make sure it stays in place. There we go. There we go. And make sure there's enough in there. Okay. Now, you're not going to sew on it because you're going to sew around it. Just make sure when you go around that curve, you know what you're doing. And you see what you're doing. Okay? All right. So let's get this over here. Now I'm going to start sewing on this end. I'm going to come around and then finish here. Let's do this, shall we? Here we go. Now, I only use the pin to hold my place while I start something. So now I'm here, and I'm going to start right there. I'm doing a 1/4 inch seam all around. 1/4 inch is a lot easier. If you have the pedal, do the 1/4 inch. If you have the measurement on your machine, do the 1/4 inch. I'm telling you, I love 1/4 inch seams. They are so much easier than anything else. Make sure everything's where it's supposed to be. There we go. Come around. Doing it this way, you make sure that all your fabric and your batting, everything is where it's supposed to be. So when you turn it over, you have a uniform stitch line and it looks pretty. Getting to the last corner. I always go slow on the corners. Look, go as slow as fast as you want. You know your rhythm. I know mine. I'm a slow quilter, so I go slow. All right, I'm coming up to the part where the elastic is now, where the hair tie is now. I'm going to take the pin out. I'm holding it over here with 2 fingers and holding it here, and I'm going to come up and make sure my machine gets over it. I'm going to do 1 or 2 back stitches there just to make sure I have it in place. Not something that's going to be seen because it stays inside. Again, a back stitch just to keep it in place. And get to the corner. There we go. Now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to finish. Now what I do, if you saw where my finger is, this is where the hair tie is. I'm feeling it. So I'm just making sure it doesn't get caught up in the last seam. That is all it is. Now I'm getting there. Take out my pin. Make sure I have enough space to turn it over. And here, people back stitch because you're going to be pulling stuff out. So make sure you have a tight seam there. Cut. Voila! It's done. Now, I'm going to do this with scissors so y'all can see. You can do it either way. All I have to do is cut it out. Now, I love these little snippers. Because they're snippers, but they are scissors, and they cut good. But I want to hurry, so let me get my other scissors. Okay. These are shears. You can see because they have a flat bottom. And they cut fast, too. Okay. Scraps out of the way. Now here I'm going to cut a little into there. Remember, when you're cutting here, there's your stitch line. Don't cut your stitch line. Just cut above it so you have it, so it has some ease. You can trim as much as you like away. Again, your project, you do it your way. I just like to trim a little bit. Make sure it doesn't look icky and bulky on the other side. I'm going to cut all the way through, all the way here. All the way here, then I'll cut out those corners. And here I'm going to cut into the tie, but since I double stitched it, shouldn't be a problem. Okay. Everything, you can't see my floor. All right, here I'm going to cut again in the corner, and the last corner. Now, it's all scrappies. Scrap. All righty. I don't need you anymore. Now, as you can see, we have a hole right here. If I can put my finger in there. There we go. Here's a hole. And all you're going to do is go slow. No rush. You're going to take everything outside and pull it. There you go. Just pulling lightly. I like to grab the elastic. It helps. There's the elastic, and you just pull in it, and it comes out. See? Woohoo. Now go to the other side. Do the same thing. And there we go. Now, I have pokers. I have 2. I have the one you buy in the store. Sorry about that. I have the one you buy. This is the one you buy in the store. And I have a little stick. When you have it in the store, all you're going to do is you're going to bring it in. You're going to start poking lightly. Lightly, lightly. And because it has a blunt tip, see how pretty that looks right there? Let me go to the other side. And poke it out. There we go. There. That's that side. Now I'm going to do it with this one on the other side. I used the first one I grabbed. Whatever I grabbed first, because I'm going to show you a little trick with this one. This one's not going to give you sharp, sharp edges because it's a round edge, right? But this is another trick. Until it gets pointy. See? Same thing on this side. Just give it off. There. There we go. Now, this is the inside. Look how pretty. What I do here, now I usually iron to make sure I have a uniform way in here, but today I'm not going to iron. Today I'm just going to show you, need a clip. Here we go. Because I want to show you something else. There we go. We're going to do a top stitch all the way around. But what I wanted to show you, remember that little tiny piece that looked insignificant? Can you see it? You can see it. Look on the other side. Remember that other little tiny piece? Do you see it there? When you're doing quilt as you go and you're piecing like that, every piece of the batting has to be covered. No matter how insignificant it may look, in the long run, you might need it, and that's what happened here. You can see it. It's right there. Let's just get into it, shall we? See how pretty? Now, again, this is a cup cozy. So, it doesn't need to be ironed. I like to press, but I don't have my iron set up right now. So we're just going to do a very light, just less than 1/4 inch. Should be 1/8 of an inch. It's just to make sure you grab in that hole. Make sure you fold it under, like I just did. That's where I use the iron really, is when I have an opening like that. You can sew it together and leave it without the top stitch if you want. That's up to you. Me, I like top stitching. I just do. So I'm just going to do a quick top stitch here and then put on the button. I'm going to show you a little trick I use to put on buttons. And here we go. I'm making sure everything is tucked in where it needs to be. Get to the corner. I just pivot. And since my machine, the needle stays down when I lift my foot off the pedal, I don't have to crank anything. Now when you're coming around where the tie is, careful, okay? Just hold it. Make sure you get that in there. The edges of that tie in there, because that's going to hold it in place. There we go. Pivot. I dropped something, but I'm always dropping stuff. Sometimes it gets a little tight there in the corner. If you've noticed, I am doing this quickly. Again, I'm not a perfect quilter, people. I never assumed to be and never try to be. I just like making stuff. And my daughter has already taken possession of the cozies. She'll be traveling pretty soon, and there we go. We're going to just lock that stitch in place. She's traveling pretty soon, and she's going to have her mug, and she wants to have 2 because she's going pink. All right, so now I'm just going to snip off these little pieces. And voila, we're done. Look how pretty. Look how cute. Look how cute. Look how cute. Look how cute. Wait, there's another little piece of thread here. Don't want to have any threads around. My daughter has a thing with threads. If she sees threads, she freaks. Okay, getting rid of all the threads. Just making sure it's clean. There we go. Now, this is what you call a cute little cup cozy. See? Now, we're going to put the button. Now, the easiest thing in the world. I am not OCD. I'm just not. I'm very, very lazy. And I tend to be a sloppy sewer. All you need to do, what I do. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. You can measure. Some people measure an inch in. Me, I just eyeball it. I'm going to eyeball this right now. I want it so that I can use it on small cups or on large ones. Since this has a hair tie that is elastic, and you can see it's really tight in there because we double stitched. I'm just going to put this here. But this has words on it. So since this goes, this way, I'm going to make sure my handmade words go up. Right there. Okay? So, I got to stop with the okay, because I don't like saying okay. All right. I have my needle and thread already. Okay. So, when you're using crafting thread, I do my little knot here, and I cut off the excess. You're not going to see it, though, and I'm going to show you my little trick to do this. Because I don't like the knot to show up on the back. You're going to see the sewing on the back, but I don't like it to be seen here. So what I'm going to do is, sometimes it helps, but since this is white, let me see what I can use to poke through the hole. Yeah. I'm just going to make a little dot. That's it, just a little dot. So it doesn't matter because you're not going to see it. I'm always dropping things. You're not going to see it. And I am going to start stitching on the top side without the button. I am just going to poke my needle through that hole to the other side and bring it up on the other side of that point right here. See? That's all. Now, when I finish poking it up, bringing it up, the thread's over here. Now I can put the button on. And what happens with that is the knot is on the inside. This is something I don't do. I don't know if anybody else does it. I do it. And then I'm going to come, make sure, just there. Hold on. Got to tighten as much as I can. There we go. Poke it through. Don't lift. Then pick it up. And that's where my second stitch is going. Now, you're going to see it on the back side. And there we go. The button is perfectly positioned. You can see the words. Hold on. There we go. You can see the words. Then there's no knot on the back. All you have is the little stitch. No knot. I don't like the knot on the back side because I used to make stuff for my grandkids. And what they do is chew it off so it come off. So, yeah. So now all I'm going to do is a couple of stitches. Again, this is DIY. Make sure your stitch is hard, that you've tightened it. And this is my part. Look, I want you guys to see how I put buttons on. Because people, I shake. I shake and I guess. This is guesswork for me. I don't poke myself because I start looking for, there it is, see? Where my finger is, I try to put my finger as close to the hole as possible so I don't have to go crazy, and then just keep on stitching until it's got enough. Sometimes I'll do 7 or 8 rounds, actually. I just keep tightening to make sure it's tight as heck, and just keep going until I have it as tight as I want it. I love these little buttons. They're so freaking cute. Okay, come on. Can't find the hole. Where's the hole? I make it. There we go. Ow! Now I pricked myself. My nose itches. It's here. There's fabric and thread all over the place. I've been cutting, getting things prepped. Okay, I think that's good enough. All right. I'm sorry, I'm itchy. So, it's there. All I do now is I come to the back, look for my stitch lines, and make a little knot. And try not to make a mess. Nobody's really going to look on the inside of this, but there we go. Knot number 1. Knot number 2. Tighten as much as you can without breaking. Another trick that I sometimes I'll use fabric glue, or I'll use some type of non-fray so that it won't come apart. A lot of little tricks. It all depends on the use that your button's going to have. And I cut as close as I can. And voila, here it is. All done. All finished. Here she is. See how cute? You can tighten it twice. You can do whatever you want. Let's try it on my mug. Sorry about that. The one I already made. And the one I just made. Hold on. Me, since I am so very clumsy, and there is coffee in here. Hold on. Ow, I don't want to spill you. Okay. I'm having trouble with my hands, apparently. Here we go. See, this is my bum hand is my left one here. Done. There we go. Pull her up. Look how pretty. Very simple. Easy to make with Mrs. Quilty fabric. I'm not going to make the other one right now because we're running out of time, but hey, you saw the principle. You saw what you need to do. In that case, all you do afterwards is fold it up. But come and watch the next Mrs. Quilty tutorial if you want to see more stuff. Mrs. Quilty, don't forget, Mrs. Quilty, you have a link below, and you can use my discount code in QuiltFect30 for 30% off your first box. Don't forget, be good, be great, and be perfectly loved. See you on the next one.